is the church that you go to?
It's in Brookfield.
Brookfield?
Yep.
What have you gone to that church your whole life?
No.
No?
I wasn't raised a Christian.
Not at
I
all.
went to high school in Fort Estates. So I was not a Christian growing up at all. I was, I wouldn't say hostile to Christianity, but as a teenager I became hostile to Christianity.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of drugs, pursued a lot of New Age mysticism,
Yeah.
Eastern religion, meditations, go out in the mountains of California, drop acid and do mushrooms and meditate, get underneath the trees.
Yeah.
So I've experienced a lot of things, but ultimately I came back to Christ.
Okay.
I think there's truths in every religion.
Absolutely.
There are truths that we see that universally. There are universal truths.
Yeah.
The moral law of God is written, I think, in everybody's heart. The Bible tells us that.
Okay.
The Bible says Jesus is the light of the world. He has enlightened essentially the soul of everyone coming into the world. So I think there is natural light that God has given to everybody.
What do you think about the difference of New Testament, where it's like, how do you think about this book being translated? Do you think those messages? Because I think there was a lot missed in the translation. And when, like, for example, with like, why weren't there any like more people of color? Why weren't there more women in the room, like talking about the things? Different colors.
All of the people in the Bible were people of color, including white people. White people are people of color. Yeah.
Of course.
But there really wasn't any white people in the Bible.
What about women? I brought women there.
There were.
Would you want it to have been in the room? Would you have wanted to be in the room?
In the room when what?
When they were
rewriting. Lots of women in the Bible.
Of course, in the Bible, but like making the decisions and the translations of the Bible. The stories when they're being passed on.
They were busy getting their makeup on and stuff.
I mean, no, that's a terrible thing to
yeah.
say. That's a terrible thing to say. And that is a problem that I have with religion, that women are not always empowered in the church, and that hurts me and doesn't make me motivated to seek out God.
So two things I would say about that.
Okay.
One is understanding, like, how did you come to believe what you believe? Because we're all shaped by culture.
Right.
If we were born 200 years ago, who knows? We might think that slavery is okay. We may have been raised to think that slavery is perfectly legitimate.
Yeah.
Even though in our own conscience something tells us wrong.
Right.
Right. So we're all shaped by our culture in tremendous ways.
Of course.
And so the culture, the ethos of our culture, right? Feminism permeates our culture, right?
Yeah.
And so while there's some differences in some of this, there's also some things that are bad about it.
What's bad about your church?
What's bad about my church?
Yes.
Well, we're all sinners. So I'd say every one of us is marred by sin.
Okay.
So every one of us has to constantly be in a state of self-examination, not to the point of like, obsessively staring in the mirror kind of thing.
Yeah.
But we all have to engage in regular self-reflection and saying,
absolutely.
God, shine the light into my own heart. Where am I falling short? Where am I deceiving myself? How has my culture affected me? Right? I mean, the pursuit of wealth. American Christians are eaten up with wealth and luxury in a way that Jesus probably would have been disgusted by.
Right.
But yet it's a blind spot of our culture. So what are the blind spots that you have in your life because of your culture?
I am a privileged white woman with fairly wealthy parents.
You want to share some wealth with us?
No, I don't.
Couple for college.
It would go too close to God. I gotta keep that out of there. But I had two very engaged, incredible parents. I had a stay-at-home mom, and she was just constantly nurturing my sister and I, and we were incredibly lucky. And I did go to like Wednesday classes and like learned about God. I never was like.
So Lutheran or Catholic?
It was a Catholic church. It was Sacred Heart in Racine. When I look at my first communion pictures, I was smiling so big, so happy in my white little dress. But I think about that. I'm like, what is this symbol of the white pretty dress? The woman's trying to get into this white women. Yes, but I mean, it's also exemplifying something.
Brown-skinned Middle Easterners wrote in the Bible that we will be clothed in white robes. So race wasn't a part of that conception at all. Black priests in Africa are wearing white robes.
Right, but I'm thinking, let me keep going with this, where I, as a child, I looked at my picture and I'm so proud to be wearing this dress. And I'm like, what little girl wouldn't be so excited to be the center of attention of their family that day and celebrating something that they are so sure of at that time? Because like I was probably so excited to go to church that day because I was in my little dress and like so ready for it.
rationalize and justify our falling short. We can pretend that our Mars on our clothing are not actually Mars. Not planet Mars, but Mars of our clothing.
Yes.
Right. So or we can seek purification. Right?
Yes, absolutely.
And this is where all the religions of the world have some sort of blood sacrifice or some sort of means of atonement,
Right.
some process of redemption.
Yeah.
Right? And so the Christian message tells us that this grand narrative for thousands of years, this foretold Messiah who would come and bring peace to the world, this great Redeemer, he came, the person of Christ, and he changed the world. What other historical figure stands out like Jesus in the history of the world? In changing civilizations. I mean, the whole notion of women's rights. The whole notion of women's rights emerged from the Christian world.
Well,
Jesus lifted women to a place of
I
prominence that was not seen in the ancient world at all. Certainly wasn't in the Greco-Roman world, wasn't in the ancient Greek world. In the ancient Roman world, when you read the Greeks, the ancient Greeks, Plato, Aristotle, those guys, a woman wasn't even allowed to come and be in the room and speak with the men were discussing.
Yeah.
She was supposed to stay down in the basement with the dogs.
You know, the one thing you have done is motivate me to learn more about history, and I hope everybody, you too, if anybody's watching, or if that's just for, because we got to know what's going on and why we are the way we are, and what brought us here.
Absolutely.
And what about the AKs up there? What's going on? How do you feel about guns?
I think they're AR-15s.
Oh, AR-15s.
Yeah,
Good.
they're actually probably M16s is what they look like.
Okay.
Regardless.
Yeah.
They're all great. AKs,
All of them.
M16, ARs.
All of them.
No, it's a tool.
It would be real bad.
It's
though,
a tool, right?
If somebody so disturbed came here and just decided to shoot, and that's something I'm scared of. That's something
That's why I carry a firearm.
Wow, I believe
So
that.
I can protect people.
Yeah.
From somebody like that.
That's scary.
So the options are, if nobody had guns, sure, it might be better.
Yeah.
It might be a better world.
Absolutely.
But given that there are guns, and there's lots of bad people that have guns,
totally.
the best defense is for good people to have guns as well.
I mean, that's.
Otherwise, we're defenseless in the face of bad guys.
Yeah. I don't know
if you're walking on the street by yourself alone and a guy with a knife walks up to you, would you feel safe and protected? Would you like to have a gun in your hand at that moment?
Honestly, I don't think I would like to have a gun on me. I think I would like to have a whistle, and I would kick him. And
what if he stabs you in your leg and cuts the whistle off your neck and then puts the knife?
I'd be fucked, you know?
Would you like to have a gun in your hand at that moment?
Honestly, I don't think so. Because I don't want it on my side.
Would you like to have another man next to you? Like me, if I came out of this building and I had my gun and I said, get off of her right now or you're dead. That'd be cool.
I mean, I wouldn't be upset if you did that for me.
Good, fair enough.
You're more than welcome to do that anytime. Good for you.
That moment happens.
Have you ever had to use it?
I haven't. I hope I never do.
Right, absolutely.
But I want to be well trained and capable in that moment.
Yes, I think the training's essential. And I think just
not
respect for the power that they hold.
Well, it's the same thing with all. Look at these things like lives. This guy decided to swerve his vehicle on this subject. At 50 miles an hour, he could run us all over and kill us all right now. Right? So more people die in this country every day from multiple accidents than guns. So tools are tools. Power exists in this world.
Yes.
The goal is that power will be wielded by virtue and by godly character, and not in the hands of corruption.
I guess it's just the definition. You say godly character, and
like love and sacrifice.
Interesting. I think love and sacrifice, I can get behind that. Godly character, I don't know if I can get behind that personally.
Well, it's not when I speak of godly character, it's not synonymous with the church, institutional churches. Okay. Any institution is prone to corruption.
Yes.
And Jesus gave the harshest rebukes to the political and religious institutions. Right?
Yeah.
So any institution is prone to corruption.
Right.
It doesn't mean that the principles that the institution was built on are bad.
Yeah.
Like America's founding principles are phenomenal. It's been a model for 120 nations around the world have adopted our constitutional form of government.
Yeah.
The Christian virtues that underlie it, right? Of course, we had slavery, and that was a blight on our nation and democracy.
Yeah.
Thankfully, because of our Christian principles, we were able to finally get them consistent and abolish slavery.
Definitely.
Right?
I could talk forever. I really could with anybody. I'm going to get back to work, though. Thank you for chatting.
My name is Jason.
Jason Sinclair. Good to meet you.